Welcome back to the Travel Agency to your podcast. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to celebrate your successes today. Woo woo! Day 62, the most random day to celebrate. But you're doing it. You're doing it. Okay. You really should take time to recognize that what you do is not easy. I'm not saying celebrate every freaking win, but celebrate your successes, okay? If this was easy, if it was easy, A, just being self employed, but B, you're a travel advisor, and I'm about to go on a rant for the ding dongs that I've known in my past who are absolute ding dongs. If this was so freaking easy, everyone would be doing it. I cannot tell you how many times when I first started in the travel industry and then started spreading the word, how many people are like, who even needs a travel agent anymore? Also, how do you find the pigs in the Bahamas? Also, how do you book a honeymoon to Belize? Also, like, because you don't know what you're doing, sir or madam. You think flying into one airport to save $300 and then getting a rental car to drive 6 hours is a smart move in a third world country that is filled with a lot of conflict. This is why people need a travel advisor because you don't know what you're talking about. Go stick to your 9 to 5. Okay. Sorry, that was a rant. I've heard that from many a ding dong who are too afraid to actually go out and do anything on their own. What you are doing is not easy. If it was, the people who put you down would have been self employed themselves, and they aren't. So don't listen to them. All right. Number two, point number two of why you need to celebrate your successes. Qualitative research, which is like not the numbers, but the quality, the feelings. Just keep that in your brain. Quantitative is numbers, qualitative is the quality. Qualitative research shows small business owners feel more positively impacted and their well being improves when they take time to celebrate their successes instead of just being like, it's fine. I gotta keep doing better. Celebrate your wins. Those who do not, that are small business owners, celebrate their wins, often worry about costs or setting a precedent when they do consider it that it can't be maintained. So that is kind of like, that is a limiting belief. That's a scarcity mindset. I'm not going to be able to do this next quarter. I'm not going to be able to do a Christmas party next year. But by the way, we're all by ourselves. I don't think we can write off Christmas parties for one. It'd be really cool if we did, though, if we could. But you might be thinking, oh, I'm not going to be able to afford this next year. Or people are going to expect this from me. Or I'm going to expect this from myself. And then if I don't hit these metrics and have another win, I'm the biggest loser on the face of the planet. There's a lot of like limiting beliefs and like scarcity mindset things revolving around why you shouldn't celebrate your successes. I disagree. Anyway, celebrating your wins reminds you of what you can do and it builds self efficacy. It's just like, okay, I have a really bad metaphor. And you're going to be like, I'm not a child, Rachel. But when a kid takes their first steps, you're like, oh, yay, that's so exciting. And like, when they say their first word, when they have their first day of school, like you celebrate all those wins that they have in their life, their first tooth that they lost. And if you're like me, you have a breakdown and cry when they lose their last tooth because you're like, this is it. Baby's no longer a baby. Anyway, so it just reminds you of what you're capable of doing. Like if you set out to do something and it may not have been perfect, but it was good enough and you still achieved the goal by the seat of your pants, like Indiana Jones sliding underneath I can't remember. I can't remember what it is. I picture the garage door from the Simpsons parody episode sliding under the garage door, like barely getting out. You still made it. Celebrate that win. And it encourages the pursuit of new successes. Now, I'm not saying keep going, for bigger and better things. And I'm not saying to also rest on your laurels, once you start to earn accolades and awards. And I'm not saying only celebrate, only successes are the awards you win and the lists you get on. Like, that's a nice thing to celebrate, but that doesn't have to be a success. It doesn't have to be the end all be all. Okay. I got to turn back to my notes because I flipped the page. Okay. But knowing that you can do something, let's think of this in terms of health and fitness goals. You do couch to 5K because you want to do a 5K that's a charity run for some organization that you want to support. Okay. So you train and train and train and you do the 5K and you made it. Congratulations. That is a success. Like, going from the couch to being able to compete in a 5K is great. You might want to pursue a 10K or a half marathon and then compound that into a full marathon. And then you might do like crazy triathlon stuff down the road. Like, you're looking for new successes. Or conversely, you might just be like, I'll just do a 10K, but I want to do it in a different part of the world or a different part of the country or for a different organization. Or I want to do 4 5Ks this year that are fundraisers versus this one that I did last year. Like, all of those things can be new successes that you decide to pursue. And it's the same thing in your travel business. You can pursue not just awards and all the weird stuff, the accolades and the monies and all that stuff, but like, if you doubled your number of clients over the year, that's a success you should win. You should celebrate that. Or over a month. Like, that's something you can celebrate. And it doesn't matter what your revenues are. And it doesn't matter if you're like a top producer with whatever, because maybe you're not there yet. But still celebrate the little guys. Or maybe you successfully executed a new workflow. You tested it and it worked. Great success. There's so many different things. You actually had money set aside for your tax bill this year. Woo! It's a success. Like, who knows? You get to define what success is, and you should absolutely celebrate them. Don't do it in excess. Like, don't be like, woo, I'm going to party tonight because I actually woke up and worked today. Like, no, don't make that a daily habit. But don't be afraid to celebrate the amazing job you are doing building this from scratch, your dream, and you're actually pursuing it. And don't forget to keep going. All right. Well, that's my rant. Go have a party this week. And if you know somebody who's struggling with acknowledging that they are successful in their lives, share this episode with them. And I hope you have a great day.